Hello children, I'm back with the next pages of the lesson. So let's have a quick revision of the previous class. So this lesson is all about a little seagull who was very afraid of taking his first flight, and he was very afraid of flying. So they were living on the ledge of the sea, which was very height enough from the sea level, and all his brothers, sisters and parents left him all alone, and they just flew away day before. So now he is all alone, and mother have already warned that if you want some food, you have to learn to fly. So by this, he made many attempts, but everything was failure. He found himself very desperate and helpless, and he was hungry and tired and all alone. To be said, the entire situation had to be led on his own, and he has to fly. And he saw his siblings are getting trained by his parents, and they were having their food too and taking a rest on the plateau. And mother just noticed him where he was all alone, and he just pretended himself to sleep, and he was standing in the brink of the ledge on his leg, and the other leg folded up and hidden up by his wings. What happens next? With lots of sympathy, mother flew with a piece of fish towards him, but did she reach? That is the question now. So let's see. And very eagerly tapping the rock with his feet by seeing his mother flying towards him, he was very happy that mother is coming to him. Tried to get near to her as she flew across. She was about to reach, but she did not reach at all. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted. She was very little away from him, but she halted. She stopped. Her wings motionless. Her wings were motionless, and she stopped there. The piece of the fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. A bite would have been taken up by him, but it did not reach. He waited a moment in surprise, and he was so confident that the piece of a fish would be going inside his mouth and she will be handovering from her beak to him. But wondering why she did not come near, and then maddened up by hunger, so he lost his patience. And why didn't she come near to him? He did not reach up the fish and his mother, but he just missed out a catch of the fish which was in the beak of his mother. And by this, he got very furious. He dived at the fish. With a loud scream, he fell outwards and downwards into the space. By taking up, in that excitement, he just came down the ledge, and he was not aware that he has left the ledge and he is now flying. Without his sense, he started up to fly in the space. Then a monstrous terror seized him, and his heart stood still. Suddenly he realized that he left this ledge, and how he will be survived now. Then he could hear nothing. Nothing was hearable to him. He was in a great shock. His heart stood. What did I do for a piece of fish? His hunger made to do so. But it only lasted a minute. That kind of a ceasingness was lasted only for a minute. But within that minute, he has seen the end of the world. If he doesn't fly, definitely he will be falling down, and he would be earth, and lastly he would be dead. But these things had not happened. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. He had no option. He had to spread his wings and he had to knock it off. He did the same. The wind rushed against his breast feathers. So the wind stood up to rush out towards his breast, and all his feathers, the wings, everything, the whole of his body started to feel up very light. Then under his stomach and against his wings, he could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. So he can feel every bit of an air which is there, and his whole body is feeling very light enough, and slowly, gradually, his confidence is getting back. He was not falling headlong now. So he did not found a kind of an headlong now. And he was soaring gradually downward and outward. So he just wanted to just take up a flight, but he is now successful in, yes, he is on the air now. And very gradually, he just started to fly up downward and outward. And he was no longer upright. So he was not at all upright now. He just felt a bit dizzy. For a moment, he felt little uncomfortable for breathing, and he also felt of losing his balance, but he did not lose it up. Then he flapped his wings once he soared upward. He just flapped his wings fastly and with a full of force, and finally he learned the technique of flying. And he sings Ga Ga Gaulako Ha. His mother swooped past him, her wings making a loud noise. He answered her with another scream. So both mother and son is conveying the message that yes, he is onto his flight, first flight. Mother was so happy. And then his father flew over him screaming, and father came running and flew very fast towards him, screaming that yes, my son did it. He saw his two brothers and sisters flying around him and curvetting and banking and soaring and diving. So they were just using up all their techniques in the fly over there. So curveting, it's nothing but leaping like a horse, and banking, it's nothing but a flying with one wing. That is what I mentioned it as a technique, the flying technique. Then he completely forgot that he had not always been able to fly. In the sense, the uprightness is completely vanished away, and condemned himself to dive and soar and curve and shrieking shrilly. So he was just condemning himself that he could not fly and he could not dive and he could not do anything. But now, whatever the lost confidence has got back. He was near the sea now, flying straight over it, facing straight over the sea. He saw a vast clean sea beneath him. So he was just flying towards the sea now, and down of him, full of water, the blue sea. And the straight facing of over the ocean now, he was, and he saw a great and a vast spread of the green sea, which was beneath him, with little ridges moving over it, and he turned his beak sideways and cawed amused, and he felt so exorbitant, and he was so amused and surprised enough, and he was feeling so awesome that he is flying now, and he's feeling that the whole sea, the whole of the ocean is under him. Why? Because he took his first flight and he is flying. His parents and his brothers and sisters had landed on the green flooring ahead of him. So after an experiment of a first flight, they just landed onto the green floor, and all his parents, his family members surrounded him just for giving a congratulations. They were beckoning to him, calling cheerily. So they were very satisfied by what the little seagull had done, and they these people who have humiliated, taunted, given a threat, threatening to him, warning to him that if he doesn't fly, it would be a life-threatening thing that he would die with hunger. But he did not give any chance. He screamed with first fright and attempted to raise again, flapping his wings. But he was tired and weak with hunger and could not raise. With full of things, the hungriness from yesterday, that is past 24 hours, he did not have anything. In the eagerness of getting the food, with that excitement, he just came out of the ledge, and that is what the main thing hunger made him to fly. And he was exhausted by hungriness, by the strange exercise. So he feels that and he thinks it's a kind of a strange exercise. His feet sank into the green sea. And then his belly touched it and he sank no farther. So, though he was about to sink off and he was into the green sea and his belly touched over the water, and then he sank no farther, but he did not sink off, but he was floating on it, and he was so happy, and around him his family was screaming, praising him, and their beaks were offering him scraps of dogfish. Dogfish, it's a little sea fish where he just dived for the first time inside the sea and got his fish. And he had made his first flight. Yes, he was very successful in taking up his first flight, and all is off now. And he was so confident and so enthused that he is able to find his own food. Yes, that is up to your lesson, the first flight. The conclusion of the lesson and the moral of the story, it goes like this. Where there is a will, there is a way. Unless you make an attempt or put up some effort, and at least you should have some push-up to get onto it, and then the success is yours. Hope you all like the lesson and follow up the same tactics what the seagull had played. So that's it of the lesson. So hope you all enjoyed, and keep learning, children, and revision is must. And I will be meeting you in my next video. So till then, happy learning.